Hello and welcome to It's My Life with your host Chaya Srivatsa. We all live in a world which is changing every minute. As I'm talking to you, there's a computer which has become redundant and a new model has come. An iPad has become from 5 to 6. By the time you bring it home, it's 7 and 8. Change is never been as fast as it has been now. It took hundreds of years for the horse carriage to become a car. It took less than 10 years for that car to become supermodels in the car. Yes, it's exciting. We are living in a great world which changes every minute. And today my guest, Annelise Pierce, who's a change maker. Oh, do we need one? I thought change happens on its own. But there are some changes that don't happen on their own. They have to be guided, especially human beings. Changing their mindset, changing their attitude, changing their posture, changing their eating habits, changing their lifestyle. Oh yes, we have many changes in things out there. But we as people take a lot of time to change. We get set in our ways, in our habits, and it is indeed difficult to change. So let's talk to Annelise and find out, how does she make people change? What are her strategies? What is the resistance from people? Oh God, she's got a lot to share because she's been a corporate trainer. And get set for an interesting chat with Annelise. Welcome, Annelise.
Thank you, Chaya. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, and let's start from Annelise. Wherever you want to start, school days, college days, something to give us a background for why are you doing what you are doing? You could have been a doctor, you could have been an engineer.
Oh, yes.
Why are you a change maker?
Fortunately, I didn't do too well in the entrance exams for the medicine
you did try for
course.
it?
Oh, I did, because my grandma wanted me to be a doctor.
Okay.
And fortunately, I might have even plugged, I don't know. But after several, tries in the corporate world, I did sales and marketing for airlines. I worked in the hotel industry. I realized...
Where, in Bangalore?
In Bangalore and in Chennai.
All right.
For a couple of years. I stumbled upon training, and that was really the turning point for me. And they trained me in, voice and accent training. There
Who's
was
the
culture. Hero Mind. A beautiful place to actually begin one's career.
Okay.
And I would have
Tell me a little about that, because I have a lot of youngsters who come to me, tell me, we want to get into training. I didn't even know there is a training the trainer course.
Right.
So tell us about it.
Beautiful. Hero Mind.
Mind. All right.
Mind. M-I-N-E. Yeah.
Oh, Hero Mind. And where is
it's a
this
Delhi-based
located?
company.
All right.
Delhi-based.
Okay.
Years ago. This was maybe going back 10 years ago.
It's that old.
Yes. And wonderful group of people, very good, solid grounding. And I would have stayed had it not been, a full-time job, because I did have a little boy to take care of. And my priorities really were, doing what I wanted to do, going out of the house for a little while, coming back home and playing mommy. So I think that's when things began to change for me. 7 months into working full-time, I said, I need to do something more. I need to do a balanced kind of work.
Let me understand this. You worked for Hero Mind as what?
As a trainer. A voice and accent, culture, language
like
trainer.
What they call soft skills or
A soft
something.
skills trainer.
All right, okay.
And that was fun. That was so much fun.
How did you get into that, being a trainer?
Oh,
were you trained yourself?
Oh, no, absolutely by chance. It was providence.
Okay.
It was providence.
And your interest and aptitude.
Oh, yes. It turns out that I did have the aptitude to do that. And fortunately, this gentleman, Adil Katrak, who hired me, saw that potential. A lot of other people had, not encouraged me to do this. So I owe this, where I am today, a lot to Adil. And
you did this for corporate?
For corporate. It was more for the BPO.
BPOs and all.
So I was telling you, Chaya, and they encourage you to learn. They encourage and they train you really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
if you're supposed to be talking to Mr. Smith in America or John in...
Yeah.
Okay.
There were days when I was doing British accent in the morning and then American in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I had to keep,
And have Indian English also for them.
Exactly. Yeah. But I moved from there to doing... What I think what happened eventually was I said, I want more than the smoke in the mirrors. I really want to get deep down into changing
You want
people's
more than
lives.
what?
The smoke and the mirrors. You have
I don't know much about
presentations.
it. Let me tell you. Please tell me that.
Okay. If you're looking at some of the usual kinds of training, now because now I'm talking about Hero, then I did some consultancy work and several other companies since then. And I realized that I was maybe getting more frustrated that the training was more a band-aid. It
Okay.
was, just a
Healing, just temporary
a
healing.
temporary fix and
Covering that.
yeah, and more of what you should need to do or what you need to say to this client, and not really the how. And up until recently, I mean, I'm going back maybe 3-4 years, I did the same thing, and I said, I want something deeper. I want an individual to feel comfortable in this change. Say, now my expertise grew into cross-cultural sensitization.
You haven't told me smoke in the mirror as yet.
Oh, right.
Okay. I have a good memory.
Yeah. So, smoke and mirrors, I call it that only because sometimes I believed that, we would go into a training room with a presentation and you'd have so many slides and this was your, your session plan and this is what you have to deliver and a few tricks here and a few tricks there. But so that being the smoke and the mirrors, like a magician, really, enthralling the group and making them feel, oh, wow, that was such a fantastic session.
Yeah.
But what really, was happening? What really were they leaving with?
They were more simulated situations.
Yeah. And I said, it's one thing for me to tell. I moved into cross-cultural sensitization. And I thought I was really, getting to the core and helping our Indian brothers speak with the American client and his counterparts. And I still felt that, although I told them, I said, you need to be assertive because the American expects this, or you need to be this way because they didn't know how.
Because assertiveness is actually a internal
Belief, behavior.
security system in you, which helps you to become assertive.
Exactly.
You can cultivate it,
Yes.
but with a lot of effort,
A lot.
isn't it?
Yes.
And if you look around, people are not assertive. They're aggressive, but they're not assertive.
They swing either extremes.
Yeah.
And I really wanted more. I said, I want to work with those people that, come to me and say, this is how you can speak with your client with confidence. And without having to say, okay, what was that checklist? Let me first affirm. Let me affirm what he's saying. Let me use however. Let me do this. Let me do that. But it really wasn't coming from inside, the real confidence. And I think that's when I stumbled upon again neuro-linguistic programming. And it
There's
changed
a lot
my
about it, yes.
Yes.
I've heard a lot about this. NLP, it's called, right?
NLP.
Okay. Tell us a little about NLP.
Okay. It's a very interesting change tool.
Okay.
For you to actually create that change that you want. It's quick change. It's not as long as one expects change to be. So it's really quick and it's painless.
Annelise, the way you're saying it's painless, it sounds like you're having a little appendix operation and it's not invasive or something.
In fact, I'm glad you asked because
Okay.
when you look at the tool we use, when you look at neuro-linguistic programming and its applications,
Okay.
it's in the corporate world that we use it in. We use it with...
When you say tool, is it something like a tool, physical tool, or is it a program which you call a tool?
It's a program.
Okay.
It's a set of techniques really that you empower people to use by themselves.
All right.
And again, it's delivered in such a way that the change that someone's seeking, a woman, we work with women primarily.
Okay.
So the change that this woman is looking for happens almost always on an unconscious level.
Now, these women that you're talking about, why only women?
Okay, we've been running this company now. Let's Play. My business partner Rahul, George, and I have been running this company now. Let's Play for the last 2 years, and we've worked with the men and women alike. But we realize women are much more perceptive to change, and it's women like me that really want the change quickly, and they want to have control of the life that they want. And we've been able to get really, really good results with women at home who've come to us, worked with us one-on-one. We have executive coaching in the corporate as well. The good thing, Chaya, is that corporates are now open to this. They don't expect women and man alike to leave their baggage at the door and say, come in and it's work only and, your personal problems don't matter here. So we actually go in, work with these individuals. And the beauty is there's no context. I mean,
Okay. And you work with them on individual one-to-one level?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, it's non-contextual.
I know it's in the West, this executive coaching is very popular.
Right.
In fact, very senior executives are given
Absolutely.
executive coaching. But in India, is it still?
It is. It is. It's being seen now as very, very. What is the word? It's important. They're seeing the benefits of it.
Is it different from image consulting?
True. It is. It is.
Image consulting is more physical.
Yes. It's the way you. We do a bit of both because you're looking at, say, if you're looking at executive presence as being one of those, corporate terms that a lot of companies hire us to do, give someone, executive presence. It's everything. It's how you're operating on the inside that creates how you behave on the outside.
Yeah.
So we work a lot on what's going on inside. Interestingly, NLP stands for neuro, which is the mind.
Mind.
L is your linguistics, which is the language that you use.
Okay.
An interesting thing happened yesterday. Someone was presenting.
And P is for?
P is for the programming.
Programming. Okay.
So your neuro-linguistic, how your neurology and your language
Can be
impact,
teamed together.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
your behavior. So the interesting thing was there was a girl yesterday that showing me her slides, who was showing me her slides, and she had a do and a don't slide. And I looked at her don't slide, and everything was don't do this, don't do that, don't A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I asked her, I said, why don't we just make it all, what to do instead? Because it's human nature when you say, don't drop that glass.
That you'll drop it.
You drop it. Because you have to access, the act of dropping the glass in order not to do it. So you're unconsciously going to do the don't.
Most parents do that.
Exactly.
Don't drop it. Don't hit your head there.
Yes.
You'll fall there.
And then
somehow it happens. And I
Exactly.
told you so.
You didn't.
Yes.
So that's exactly how NLP works.
Okay.
And
And how did George come into being your business partner?
that was again providence. I'm telling you, the universe is out to not get
Totally.
me, but like really support me.
Yeah.
Rahul and I did a project together. We are also actor facilitators. We run two separate companies apart from Now Let's Play, and we were on a project together. And he said something about, and some exercise because I was petrified of lizards, and we were practicing on the phone, and I couldn't concentrate because there was this huge big lizard on my wall. So he says, why don't you do the quick phobia cure? And I thought he was teasing me because, I was evangelizing NLP. So I said, yeah, fine. And then a few days later, we were again in session and something happened. And he said, why don't you do this exercise? I said, what do you know about this? This is NLP. He said, oh, I've been training since 2007. So I said, really? And then there was this I have someone who I can practice with. And we did that. We started practicing together. And we realized this is, what's binding our passion together for change, real change. He uses theater in training.
Okay.
And I use game. So we brought the two together on this platform of NLP. And so we work in our current companies as well, our clients, and women at home and business entrepreneurs.
Okay. And women at home, you go to individual women at home.
They actually come to us, Chaya. We currently we work out of Navaspurti Kendra, which is attached to Holy Ghost Church.
Okay.
So we're there Friday and Saturday. We do our one-on-one consults there. During the week, we're at our corporate clients. And again, there it's one-on-one and group interventions. And business entrepreneurs come to us again for their mentoring and their coaching.
And you're based out of this church
place,
premise.
yes, or our home offices.
Tell me more about how do people come to you? How do you access people? How do you promote your business?
Right.
Today, it's easy to start a business, but to market it, it's very difficult. And to get people to accept your product and go with it. So how do you go about doing all that?
Up until now, it's been word of mouth. And because, again, personal change, personal counseling, I'm putting that in quotes, is something that's, it has been looked at, as something that you want to keep really close to your chest and say, not tell anyone that you're going into a session with anybody. But the good thing about, what we do is that no one really knows what the issue is because you don't need context. You're just working with how someone's experiencing that particular situation. And the girls we worked with have felt confident enough to go back and say, you know what? The change in me is because of A, B, C, and D. So a lot of it has just been word of mouth. Okay. But we want to do more. And I mean, that's why I'm so happy that you're giving me this chance so that I can tell people about what's out there and what we do. Because it's been Facebook now. I'm trying to get a little technically savvy.
So do they respond to you on
do.
Facebook?
They do. So we have, drives. We have a theme every month. In fact, last month's theme was all about fears and phobias.
Okay.
And it was so
Fears
amazing.
and phobias, and you were doing a ground event. Or in
out
the
of,
sense
out of NSK, out of Navaspurti. Yeah.
Okay, and you did have a lot of people coming for
Yes.
it. What are the most common fears and phobias?
Oh,
From-
fear of public speaking is huge, and we're not talking just in the corporate.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was surprising because some of the girls that came to us were actually looking to start work. So we had this beautiful woman. She was a retired individual. She came to us and she said, "You know what? I wasted the last 3 years of my life being retired. It was just a number that put me out of action." She said, "I'm not unemployable. I want to get back." She said, "But I'm scared. I'm afraid of talking to people now." And that was the fear. So that month brought us some beautiful people. There was one girl who has to travel as part of her work. And she's heavily medicated to get onto that plane. Can you imagine?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And in less than I'm not exaggerating, in less than 5 minutes, we were able to shift and break that fear. Now, the good thing is you're not really worried about where did this start, where did the fear come from? Was it something your teacher said?
Doesn't matter.
We don't go there.
Fear is fear.
Yeah. We actually get rid of the fear and say, okay, what do you want to do with your life instead? This girl, for example, is coming to Bali for one of our programs in November.
You're having a program in Bali?
Yeah.
What kind of program is
it's
this?
It's an all-women's transformational workshop. And it's a very small, exclusive group. But that's happening in Bali and it's titled Eat, Play, Love.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And
that book.
The book. But we, of course, playing on the word
pray.
So
and
it's like
a play in love. Okay.
Bali was a place that touched my heart. And I said, I'm coming back there, one day. I'm going back there one day. So when I had this opportunity, we're getting a master trainer down. Dr. Bandler is the founder, the co-founder of NLP.
NLP, okay.
One of his, very trusted steeds is coming down to run this transformation workshop for us. And Rahul and I will be supporting.
Facilitating this. And who are these women who will be attending it?
Anyone. I mean, we've got people coming in from the States, from Canada, from Europe, India.
And how did you publicize this?
Again, all word of mouth. It's purely because, again, we're looking for women that are serious about changing their lives.
And and how much do you charge for this?
This is a slightly higher priced program.
First, how much will it cost?
So as you said, you'll break it to you gently.
Yeah, gently.
Yes. It's in euros because, again, the transformational coach is a Danish gentleman.
Okay.
It's 3,750 euros, which as of today's conversion is about 2.66 lakhs.
Oh boy,
yeah, but
that's a lot.
It's an investment, and
it's an investment which is not going to give you much returns.
Huge returns, huge, and it's amazing because.
And what does it include?
It includes the stay and the meals at this exquisite
For how many days?
place. It's a 3-day retreat.
For 3 days,
but you're in one day and you're out another. So technically, there are 4 nights.
Okay.
4 nights, but I use the word investment because I know. I mean, Rahul and I have been investing in.
You're paying for this, or you're going to be his guests?
No. We're also participating. Yes.
You're paying for this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we've been paying since July for our
investing in yourself.
And yes, and I think we've done our courses more for us to start with.
Which means you're going to do this and then you're going to replicate it.
In our ways.
We are
doing it in smaller groups in Bangalore. But the reason why we've chosen this gentleman, Anders Piper, to do it with us is because, we've just been licensed as licensed trainers of NLP, and we're about a year old as master practitioners of NLP. But he has been doing this for years, and we believe in having everyone get as close to the source as possible. Now we've been going to the States we've been there about 3 times now to earn these licenses and to learn from Dr. Bandler.
Okay, so you're investing yourself.
Yes.
Pretty heavy investment, I must say.
And there are returns. I mean,
there are returns.
We've seen this over the years we've been doing this, and it's beautiful. I mean, the change is, as I said, painless.
Okay,
it's just beautiful. You change, and people around you. Change.
If it is so very effective, how come it's not used as much?
Tool. There are people that walk the talk and those that don't. I can only speak for ourselves.
Yes, speak for
and
yourself,
I know
sure.
personally I've lost 16 kgs.
No, apart from
using,
that,
yeah,
I'm just saying that
yeah.
when you're saying that, be good to yourself
I
and
know.
all these things, the first thing to be good to yourself is to maintain yourself.
Yes. To use it and to make it work
Isn't
for
it?
you. True.
And then when you talk about it, the person who's learning from you will say, okay, if it worked for you, it'll work for me.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, the person will say, hey, if it was so, why are you like this?
We believe that we need to be our own, posters and our own promos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to be your own audiovisual equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it?
In fact, that's where, Rahul and I really believe that NLP in India, for example, India needs to be rebranded. There are so many of us doing it in India. There are.
Yeah.
But not all of us have actually learned the latest technology from the source. A lot of it is adaptations and small certification courses that people do. So I really can't vouch for today's,
Credentials of this. Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing have you noticed, Annelise, is that major training used to be done in corporates.
Yes.
Major.
Oh, yes.
And there was a time when there was a lot of training happening and there were a lot of people in the training arena. But I don't know, recession or whatever it is, the first thing that gets cut down is the training budget in companies.
I think we've been fortunate because we've been, what is the word? Maybe not recruited, but got on board as consultants. So we consult with our clients, and I've been consulting with one in particular for the last 7 years.
Okay.
So I'm part of, the
whatever
woodwork.
their change-making thing happens.
And,
Okay.
and I think what helped them ride out the storm was that they didn't lose focus on their people. And they focused on developing their people so that when, times got better, they could hit the ground running. And they're the ones that have, I think, what is the word? They have foresight enough to say, you know what, let's deal with the inside out.
That's the thing. The foresight is not there. Especially HR. I find most HR people are not tuned into this.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Most of them are still, in the olden days, they used to call it a personnel
Exactly.
officer.
Yeah.
And his or her job was hiring, firing, giving memos, chart sheets and things like that.
Absolutely. Today, it's more the bottom line that they've got to be responsible for as well as HR.
Hiring,
Things have changed.
keeping them there, not firing, sustaining them, nurturing
Motivating,
them.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that I don't see many HR people doing because they don't have the expertise. They just have qualification, MBA in HR.
Exactly. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up, Chaya, because one of the things that we are looking at doing as part of our ongoing business plan is the practitioner licensed courses. We're bringing that to India again, where you get a license from Dr. Bandler. And we're focusing on business people. So we have a licensed business practitioner. We're also opening this up to the L&D fraternity, the HR fraternity, because these are, I think, very, very critical tools that one needs in order to, as you said, empower and motivate, retain individuals. I mean, an amazing story. In one of our executive coaching sessions, there was this girl, and I had been with this company for a while, and she came to me and she confided. She said, my job's so stressful, it's taking its toll on my body. I've been trying to have a baby for the last so many years. And she's been trying to have a baby for so many years, but hasn't. So I said, okay, we can help, but I don't have the bandwidth, so can I have Rahul work with you? She was like aghast, and she said,
naturally.
I know. She said, how do I tell him this? I mean, I can't tell him this. I said, you don't have to tell him anything. Just tell him that you want him to work with you on stress, which is taking its toll on your body. I said, maximum you can say hormones. He's got a wife, he understands hormones. So they worked together. And a couple of months later, I get this call, and she said, Anna, you won't believe it. I'm actually pregnant. I wasn't surprised and yet surprised. So I messaged Rahul immediately and I said, guess what? You got someone pregnant. And he was like, behave yourself.
Rahul, this is not part of your job.
I think this is the first time his wife's going to hear about this bit. But I mean, that is the extent of openness again to programs like this and the efficacy, the change. Strangely, I mean, if you look at medicine today, I mean, we believe that you need medicine, you take the medicine. But the strangest thing is, say you take a tablet and the doctor gives it to you and he says, there might be a little pain with this, or you might feel a little drowsy. Those are post-hypnotic suggestions. And you're going to feel that way.
Because it's been told to you. Yeah.
I mean, if you tell someone you have 6 months to live, You've got to, and you owe them the truth. But how about if you also say, I've known people that have beaten this and they've done this to beat it. So when we work with people, we use a lot of those kind of suggestions where
positive strokes,
and we've seen people bouncing back from things, going for things that they want, changing their lives. And that's what I'm living for, Chaya. That's what I live for every day. Wake up to make that change in someone's life.
Do you get every day somebody to do something
or the other? There are people everywhere. We're surrounded by people everywhere, and you can do it conversationally.
Yeah,
you can build someone up conversationally. So the tool we've been taught is also based on language patterns that you use.
You told me that you work out of this church.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's attached to the Holy Ghost Church.
Holy Ghost Church.
It's called Nava Spurti Kendra.
Okay. Who is it run by, the Spurti Kendra?
It's run by the Redemptorist Fathers.
Okay. I wanted to ask you this again, Generally, these kind of, like in a church, when people go to the church, it's a meeting place for them. It's a social meeting place.
Right.
And somehow it's associated for, if you have anything, you go to church, you speak to Father and you'll feel better. That concept is there. Unlike we go to the temple, we break a coconut, we'll take a mannat if you do this, I'll pour, ghee into the diya or something like that. But we don't have that kind of connection with the priest.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But we'll go to a Guruji,
Right.
the ones with flowing beards.
Yes.
Okay?
Like a mentor. Yeah.
A mentor, and
Yeah.
go and say, this is the problem with
Yes.
us and things like that. Okay? But we don't have centers like this, which do proper counseling.
Counseling work.
Okay, the Guruji counseling is more like, all right, beta, sab theek ho jayega, Bhagwan pe bharosa karo, and, that kind of a thing.
Yes.
Isn't it? So do you think this is really a specialty of the Christians? That they have some, because you have confession also,
Right.
isn't it?
I am a Catholic, but I mustn't say this out loud. Too late. My father-in-law's going to be listening. But I don't go to confession.
No, but the fact that it is there,
It
and you can
helps,
unburden yourself.
Yeah.
See, ultimately a counselor is nothing but a priest to whom you go and confess.
Yes.
But the priest in the confession is non-judgmental.
Right,
He's just
absolutely.
there listening.
Absolutely.
And you say it and you come away.
It kind of makes you feel,
Lighter.
it's cathartic.
It's
yes.
cathartic, yeah. It's lighter. So this is a very special thing for Christians, I think.
The confession that Catholics
And what
have
you do
that.
have,
Yeah.
these attached counseling centers and things
I
like
would
that.
say that counseling is, again, secular.
Secular,
I would say,
yeah.
I did like a precursor to counseling at Parivartan. You're actually finding, ways to move on. Whereas in counseling, you tend to sometimes dwell a lot of what's currently your situation and how badly, you feel. In NLP, we get you to unconsciously find ways to
Get out of
move
it.
on. Yeah. Yeah. Almost like the fast track ad. Move on.
Move on. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yes. I think most people get stuck, don't you think? Because they don't move on.
Can you imagine, Chaya? You can even rid someone of a trauma with a tool like this.
NLP,
And you
okay.
don't have to revisit the trauma, more than just, I think it's a really quick exercise that we do, and you're not really even in that situation anymore. But you get different perspectives of it.
Sometimes we think about whatever has happened to us as it's happened to us. Why did it happen to me?
Yeah.
But when we know it happened because there was a cause, we are able to accept it in a more graceful manner.
And then do something with
Do
your
something
life.
about it.
The women that we work with,
I was going to ask you the next
Yeah.
question. What is it that they all reel under?
it's just basically
Why?
poor self-image.
Why?
It doesn't matter why and where it came from. We help them see, what's really there. I mean, we've had girls that cannot look in the mirror, who cannot take pictures of themselves, who just berate themselves because, and they might be so beautiful, but they just don't see it.
That's why I don't like people in FB who put some flower, some bird, some doggy as their profile picture. Isn't it?
Yeah. Just be proud.
No, be thankful to God that you have a face which you want to put on, which you may not want, but put it on. Isn't
Be
it? But
proud.
everyone wants to be told you're pretty, you're attractive. Forget it.
And against whose standards, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The mantra these days, where people really want to live their lives and they're tired of living in these conditioned, rule books. And I believe that too. I believe live and let live. As long as you're not in someone else's space, as long as you're not taking what doesn't belong to you, as long as you're, looking out for yourself, you'll have a lot to give out to other people.
No, I mean, it's so simple. Why is it that they don't do it?
It comes with time, I suppose. And that's where I think Rahul and I want to play this part, where we're building that awareness, saying, you know what, it's not
so
selfish.
easy. It's so easy.
I've been able to make, things work the way I want. And I do believe a lot, is again providence. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I have a wonderful support system. I have both sets of parents here, my in-laws and my folks. And my son is an amazing kid.
How old is he?
15.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's a natural, live and let liver.
Yesterday, somebody was asking me about their teenage. He said, tell me, how do I handle a teen? I said, just don't handle the teen. They let the teen handle himself. Because he's going through a lot of hormonal changes, things. Just give him lots and lots of love.
Love.
That's all. Unconditional love, as they say.
And don't embarrass them in front of their friends. That's one learning. I learned the hard way.
In which, there's a poem called Middle Age. Kamla Das, I think, wrote this, So she says, middle age is when your children who were your friends become your critics.
Wow. You can actually slow things down. Even at work, you can slow things down in a high-pressured environment.
How long will it take you for you to do a course, an NLP course? I mean, to conduct it for some.
To actually run?
Yeah.
Our course is going to happen in September. And we're running it for 8 days. So it's a Saturday to a Saturday. It's
all
a
the
license.
8 days? All the 8 days?
All
Okay.
8 days.
I'm not talking about training the trainer kind of course.
Okay.
Doing an NLP course for a group of people.
I mean, running or doing NLP for someone?
For someone.
Okay. We recommend at least a 5-session package.
Okay.
Because if we take more than 5 sessions, then you need someone else. But I mean, chances of you, like the lady that came to us with her travel fear, I'm telling you, Chaya, in 5 minutes, we could see her whole body change.
Change, yes.
That's 5 minutes. But we said, no, we're not done yet. We want it to be exquisite. So we gave her the hour and she was done in an hour. She's not come back. And I mailed her and I said, seeing you in November, right? And she says, yes.
And the November one is to train somebody else to do NLP.
No, November is for your own personal change, your own transformation. In September, we're training people, we're licensing business people in an NLP license.
Okay.
So you actually get to use it at work. So people who run businesses would benefit from doing this course because it teaches you tools. Apart from giving you the certification, the license, it teaches you tools to handle yourself better, build better rapport, work with people, work with your language patterns. L&D people, HR people will all benefit from doing a course like this because then they can train it in businesses or use it in the workplace. So you're looking at NLP from learning to use it on yourself and with others.
Yeah. Does it also work in the family level also?
Yeah.
Husband, wife,
Oh, yeah. And you just
children.
need one person to change.
In anything, isn't it? And it begins with you.
It begins with you.
I'm so sad.
I realized that, Chaya, because, I mean, the many years I spent, screaming and shouting like a banshee. I used to call myself a witch on the broomstick. Seriously. I wasted so many years just being that way, expecting everyone around me to change and be what I wanted or how I expected things to be. Now, I still have, annoyances, but I respond differently and there's no resentment.
No reaction, but response.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, I still lose it once in a while. I mean, I wouldn't be me if I didn't. But there's so far and few between that it's nice. It's nice that I have that quality time, true quality time with my family when I'm home.
Some people say if you do pranayama meditation also, that gives you that same kind of grounding,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
See, anything like this that helps you get in connection with yourself, get really grounded.
Yeah.
I do my meditation in the morning. I do some yoga. I go for my walk. I did the art of living. I believe these are the things that help you stay
definitely stay focused.
I really want people to know that it's easy, that change doesn't have to be long and painful.
But most people say, oh, it's all very well for you to say you have this support, you have that. I said, no, it had nothing to do with all that. It's to do with you.
And you just put it out there and you know, it's weird, right? I mean, when you buy like one particular kind of car, like say today you buy a shocking pink Reba, tomorrow you're going to see 1,000 coming out on the road because you are now looking or you've just become aware.
Earlier they were, but you didn't see it.
Yeah. Just put it out there. I believe in, you know, the universe is orchestrating to make things work for you. All you need to do is put it out there. I really thank God I've been
But don't you
blessed.
think most people have this huge ego problem?
Yeah.
Says, nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Yeah. I'm one of those actually. I don't like being told what to do.
And you're training other people. That's not fair.
But Chaya, see,
But you're
the thing
telling
is,
other people what to do.
I don't tell. That's the interesting thing. We can't tell anyone what to do. I mean, they have the answers inside. We just
Trigger
stoke.
that.
We just
Okay.
facilitate. We don't have all the answers. I mean, I don't know what might work for you and what might work for, you know, someone else. Your unconscious mind and you personally would know what's best. So and that's the thing I use on my son. Saying, what do you think? What do you think would work? What do you think you'd like to do? Okay, this is where I'm coming from. Make a choice. And, you know, the kid has actually been mature enough to make the right decisions. And he knows that we're there to back him up. And I think that's where, you know, training has helped because I realized this was my space. This was my white canvas to paint on. When the other jobs that I found myself in were constraining, you know, restrictive. And I couldn't figure it out. I said, you know, what's wrong with me? Why can't I last in a job? Till I actually got
You're the
this.
common factor.
I was the common factor. And now 10 years down, I'm doing stuff I love. I wake up every day and I'm thinking, what can I do
What
now?
can I do today?
Yeah. It's not like, oh God, I got to go to work. Yeah. Love,
Isn't it?
love, love.
Not many people are blessed with that because most people are afraid to take the risk.
Yes.
You know, they want the comfort zone of a regular paycheck, even if you don't really enjoy the work. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little
I
chat we
loved
had.
it, Chaya. Are we
Yes.
done?
We are done, Annelise. But you can listen to your own show when
This is so
I'll announce
lovely.
it on FB when it's going to be up.
Thank you.